You have to be intentional in marriage. And I know what you mean when you hear the extremes. I feel like social media is one of the worst things that happen to Nigeria. Love in Lagos sounds like a movie. Like, we need to create that movie. I hate to say this. It may sound like, oh my God, cliche, but the devil really does not like unity. I mean, I've been in this marriage for almost 20 years. So obviously there's been ups and downs and things, and we're now just getting here where I still feel like I'm still scratching the surface, by the way. Wow.
Hello there. Welcome to another episode of the Open Up Podcast. If you don't already know, my name is Dara, and Open Up Podcast is a place where we share, we learn, we unlearn, we listen, we hear, and we open up. I know it's cringe. But today I'm going to be talking about what we all love. Yeah, love. Love. The fears, the scares, the beautiful part of the journey, the hard times, the low times, the realities of it. And this is very important because on social media, if you're a social media user, we have so many conflicting information about love, about marriage, about relationships. And if you're in a very pivotal time in your life, you're about to get married, you want to be in a relationship, and you're having this information overload where on one end, maybe you're seeing your pastors or your leaders, your spiritual leaders talking good about marriage. But on the other end, you're seeing the blogs and the Joros talking about all the horrible things that are going down in marriage. And you're like, is this what I'm about to sign up for? So this is the reason why today we're talking about loving God's way, what it means to be in a relationship, in a marriage, the truthfulness behind it. And because I'm not married, I'm not doing this alone. I have Feyikemi, first of all, the stunning Feyikemi. She is the CEO of FTK Konnect. It is an international platform for event planning, weddings. And by the way, it's luxury, it's beautiful. And if you're watching this before Valentine's, there's a very special episode happening. It's called Bond with Me.
Bond with Me.
And there's a surprise. Maybe on that day you see, but you need to actually come there, have a good time, mingle, learn, love the right way. But enough about that. Let's go right into the topic. So like we were talking before we started, and I was saying how I kept thinking about it because I knew I wanted to talk about relationship and marriage, but I knew I wanted to talk about it, but not from because you said, I'm not a pastor, not from a pastoral, ministerial point of view, not because that's not necessary, but from, a relatable point of view, because you mentioned it in passing that you were married 18 years, and I don't even lie, I was shocked, because I was like, nah, this is, wait, are you even married? Okay, I saw the ring. I'm like, nah, 3 years. And then he said 18 years. And then you're happy. And then you're talking my husband, and you're smiling. It's not like you're talking about it like, that man. You're smiling, you're happy about it. And I'm like, I need to know what's going on here. Let's talk about it, especially because you're also centering on events around love and Valentine's. Yes. So when you talk about this journey that you have been on, like, just tell us how it has been.
Okay.
Give us the tea.
Let me give you the tea. So first and foremost, it is not a bed of roses every single day. That's a lie. That's a lie that was sold to us by the media. It's also a lie that's been perpetrated through movies. And so we get into marriage having all this unrealistic expectations sometimes. I'm not saying don't expect, great things, because I'm a positive person. I'm a Christian. I believe in love. If God loves, from the head all the way down. So I totally buy and love love, which is one of the reasons why I am biased towards weddings. I love planning weddings. I love seeing and being a part of people's new journeys. So love is real. But the fact that, media has painted different pictures for us. And I think that's part of what set people off in the wrong footing or way sometimes, where they are like, I should have this and I should be this and you should do that. And there's no format, there's no template. Just be real, just be authentic. Speak about the things that you want prior to and continuously work on it. So I think it's my pastor that always says that marriage is the one institution that you go into and you actually don't get certified before you go in. You get the certificate much later, because no one gets certified because you don't know what's going to happen. It takes two souls coming together and saying that they want to fight for this every day. And don't get me wrong, my husband does get me mad, and sometimes it's like, that man. So it's not a bed of roses every day. And we are going to be, we've been married for almost 18 years, so it will be 18 years in May. I've known him for, I think, 21 years. Honestly, when you get to a certain level, you start to forget how many years. I just know that it feels like half my life, or all my life, I've known him. And, it definitely took understanding many, many years. I think, as they rightly say, the first 2 years are typically very rocky. The first 5 years takes understanding and going through, learning. Actually, some of the motto of this podcast, learning, relearning, unlearning, to learn again and relearn. So it just has to take two people who are saying, oh, we're not giving up. We're just going to keep doing this. There will be bumps in the road. There will be times that you'll be like, do I even know this man? Like, who did I marry? There's different characters and traits that happen when people grow and, and you're learning from things every day. I mean, both of us have teenagers. Our children are 17.
Wow.
And
does she look like she has a 17? What is the meaning of this? But please go ahead.
My daughter turned 17 just last week.
Wow.
And our son is going to be 15 in September. So I feel incredibly blessed to have married. I feel like it was the right time for me. I feel like we did everything on course, and which has really afforded me the opportunity to be able to travel and get things done. They're grown. They can take care of themselves. I do have support system. My mom comes in and out of the United States where I'm from. But, it's just been a blessing, and it is not, you have to be intentional in marriage. And I know what you mean when you hear the extremes, like you rightly said, pastor, church, they teach you something and they're like, marriage can be this, can be that. And then sometimes you look on the blog and it's the horrific, oh my God, they killed each other.
Yes.
Pure horror. There's one that stands out, but I wouldn't be mentioning name, like 2 years ago, and it was really, really horrible. And the woman ended up dying, and it was just crazy. Like, life is not that hard. There's a Yoruba thing that's coming up, but I will refrain from using that.
Please go ahead.
It's like Shogulayoni. I love that thing because honestly, if you're not having fun, it's like, what are we doing? So you have to be intentional. And there's certain things that my husband and I just enjoy doing together. And that's usually like our comeback to regular life moments. Like, we must dance, we must enjoy, we must travel. And, so when you have most of the things that you do that's fun together, that you are able to do, I think it also keeps things moving. There are some things that he does, and I'm like, I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to hear that. Like, I don't want to watch those series, but there are many movies and series that we all cuddle up together and watch. And everybody has their space, and I feel like when you're mostly fulfilled, two fulfilled individuals, or two individuals on the journey or path to knowing what they're supposed to do, to be Christ-centered, you believe in God.
Yeah.
There is no way that you will not have the right foundation to keep your marriage going. So there is no formula, but there is intentionality that we are going to choose to do this.
Okay. I want to kind of rewind you to your journey. I don't know how it started for you, but there are a lot of young people who haven't found their footing, whether it's financially, emotionally. They're not even fully functioning individuals. Their careers are not fully fledged. So when you say things like, traveling, doing some, I won't call it, it's not luxury actually, but like, doing some things together. And some people feel, or some people are not just at that stage where they can simply afford it. Like you said, maybe those first 5 years is rocky. You're trying to pay your rent. You're trying to... Weddings are so expensive nowadays. I feel like if a person is not careful, they can break up because of planning a wedding.
Exactly. There are many weddings. I feel like as a wedding planner, I'm like a therapist, a sister, a dog.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm a pastor.
Wow.
I'm a counselor. I mean, I wear so many hats because I do let people know that, honestly, especially I hate to say this, it may sound like, oh my God, cliche, but the devil really does not like unity. And so what happens in a place where your foundation is not right and then you're planning a wedding, there's so many unnecessary things that would almost want to drift the families apart. So I always say remain centered, remain focused, remember, how you guys got together, and remember God. That's the reason why you met. Maybe this is your bone of your bone, the flesh of your flesh. So don't get lost in the wedding festivities. I'm also the same person that would tell you, get out the luxury items, right? But, it's a double-edged sword. You want to make sure that your finance is okay for the type of wedding that you want. You do not, the goal is the marriage, okay? The wedding is one day, but it is a once-in-a-lifetime, day. So I always say that, spend a little if you can, but don't get lost in spending that you don't remember that there is a life after the wedding day.
Yeah.
And so you have to make sure that, the foundation is right. So we're already set. We know where we're moving into after the wedding. It's not like we're spending our mortgage or rent on our wedding. So put things aside, but then say, okay, maybe we can go over our wedding by 10 or 15K or 20K or 100K or 1M or 2M. It just depends on what you're working with. But if you're centered, there's nothing that you can't do. Now, with the youngins...
I was about to go there.
Yeah, with the youngins...
kind of find it hard.
I'm not going to lie. I've been in this marriage for almost 20 years. So obviously, there's been ups and downs and things, and we're now just getting here where I still feel like I'm still scratching the surface, by the way.
Wow.
But we're now here where things are more consistent and are better. For example, when I met my husband, I used to work in a bank and he worked in a telecommunication company. And so it wasn't like he was earning good money and I was earning okay money, because working in a bank, but all of this in the United States, by the way. And then I moved from there, and then I went into finance, which is what I studied also in college. It was business tech with some finance certificate. And so I went into telecommunication as well and was a financial consultant and all of that good stuff. So we're earning good money. But guess what? Within a month of each other, after working in corporate America for many, many years, he more than I did, kind of found ourselves becoming CEOs. Like we basically left our jobs to focus on our separate businesses. Between me and him, we have like 3 businesses. And so that was hard. It was almost like starting again from ground zero. So for the newbies, the youngins, I think the issue is we always think, these people are doing it, why can't I do it? Don't compare yourself. Everybody's journey and story is very different. And trust me, when I was much younger and we were much younger, I wanted to travel 3-4 times in a year, and it just didn't happen. I started to call myself an international luxurious event and wedding planning company when it hadn't happened, but I was already foreseeing it and I expected it to happen. I was very intentional in portraying this vibe, and it eventually came. I have now been 17 years in the industry.
Wow.
Going on 18 this December, and I am just now getting to the point where, well, maybe not just, for the last 10 years, we've been known as an international brand for the real one. But, I'd been saying it for like 7 years, every single day, almost every time. Even when I wasn't, I was already projecting it. So you have to work in the vibe that you want. And please, I'm not telling everybody to go quit their jobs. Please do not.
Don't misconstrue.
Don't
misunderstand.
It took a minute for us to come to where we were. I was raising kids. America is not the easiest. If you don't have a nanny, we had nannies for our kids when they were much younger. And they want you to pick up your kids at 2 or 3 p.m. And, you worked at a place where you couldn't end your job until 5 or 6 p.m. Yeah. So there were reasons behind ours. So don't be like, oh, she quit. No, please don't. Please have plan B and plan C. Because when we did that, it was not easy. Even though we had savings, it still was not easy. Okay?
Okay, so I'm actually not surprised to hear this. I didn't know that the beginning wasn't so easy. But I already know, because I can tell from my parents and, my sister's marriage that there's ups and downs.
Absolutely.
And there seems to be a pattern in what I'm observing that people who build together seem to last longer. I don't know, this is just my own theory. And the reason why I'm saying this is because Valentine's is in a couple of days, very soon.
Yes.
And, it's going to be intense that day, especially in a place like Lagos. You're going to be seeing people getting new cars, new phones, the biggest bouquets, the grandest gestures. Some will getting proposed to, and some are going to be bitter and angry and envious and, all of that good stuff. And it comes from that, because I know people who have said, oh, this guy, he doesn't have the financial capacity to take care of me or this or that. And, money is important.
It is.
It is important.
It is.
But how important is it to a person who is just starting a journey?
The love journey, of course,
yes,
right?
Love journey.
Money is definitely important, because you would even see me, almost 20 years married, smile brighter when my husband's like, I transferred money to, I'm like, gang. So money is definitely important, but we should always choose what we want. And I think maybe that's why Lagos is where it is right now, because I feel like there's ups and downs. There's no realistic middle anymore, because everyone is just like money driven.
Yeah.
It should never be money driven. It should always be relationship based, first and foremost. What is our relationship with God? What is our relationship with each other? Are we grounded? Because if you're grounded and you're helping build up, and honestly, yes, I love building from ground together and you would stay together. But there's also, I come from a rich family and we know about...
That's okay.
And that's okay. That's very okay. I come from a rich family and we're doing well, but I still value and understand that our relationship comes first. So whether we have the backing of the financial from the parents or not, or we're building up, we should always know that God first, the relationship, and, every other thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that is not typical to hear. We're talking about love in Lagos, and you were saying something about social media being a disaster.
It is.
For us Lagosians.
It is.
Why did you say that?
Number one, Love in Lagos sounds like a movie. Like, we need to create that movie. But let's not give them ideas. But I love the sound of that. So FYI. Yeah, I feel like social media is one of the worst things that happen to Nigeria. And let me not say the worst things, because there are some positive moments.
Yeah.
There's Moses Bliss and his fiance, which I love their story.
So sweet.
Oh my God, too sweet. And I love the fact that, it creates hope and gives hope. And there's been so many superstars that have been found on social media, especially even in the Nigerian space, which is very not the norm. So I'm happy on the positive notes, but the negative ones, oof. And I'm a strong, confident individual. Like, you cannot shake me. You cannot make me into who I am not. And I'm hopefully doing the same, like instilling in my children. But social media, especially the Nigerian or African social media, it is a disaster. It's the pressure, it's the comments, it's the crucifixion, it's the judgmental. Like, it's just too much. And I feel like people feel, okay, because this person has now had a wedding for like a whole month. Every week they did something. I must do that. I must surpass it. So what's the next thing? And it's not meant to be
very competitive.
Very competitive. I mean, naturally, we're already competitive without social media. I feel like social media definitely heightened it for Nigerians. And sometimes I just shake my head. I mean, I totally use social media for work, but I also, for entertainment, when I'm unwinding, I just laugh at some of the comments, because there's some comments only Nigerians will make them.
Yeah.
Nobody else on earth would do that. Only Nigerians. And, it just cracks me up. But imagine the people that are not confident. Imagine the newbies. Imagine the youngins. Imagine the very impressionable people. And that's why, unfortunately, and I hate to be negative, I noticed that people started trying to be like suicidal in Nigeria, which is not how we were raised or how we're built. And I just feel like it's social media pressure. I pray for anyone who is currently watching us right now. Please, nothing is that serious. I promise you. Social media is not that serious. It literally was meant for people who are across, the ponds, the nations, the, over on the other side, the ovas or overs or whatever they call it, just to connect and not feel like they're missing anything in each other's lives.
Yeah.
And, it should not be, like, if you look at, like, I even hate to make this description, but like, Zuckerberg that created it, they're very simplistic. They're not over there trying to be like impress anybody. They just want you to know that, oh, my daughter is growing. She grew a tooth today. Her teeth is fully there. It's just for leisure, not what we do in Nigeria where they take everything like
professional pictures, videos.
There's makeup artists and hairstylists charging us an arm and a leg because we want to trend and we want to wear the latest Ashrabi. Let's just chill. Let's dial it back.
This is... I'm actually very surprised because I think I need to remind you guys at this point that she's an event planner, a luxury wedding planner too. And so it's quite interesting that this is coming from you.
I promise.
And, these are things that are happening where people are, I want to have this event, and if this blog is not here, and if I don't use this person to MC, if I don't use this person to do my makeup, my hair, my outfit, it's not going to go anywhere. And on one end, now let's be a little real now. Like even leaving love aside, if you look at career, business, and even love, social media is bringing a lot of people out of poverty because with fame comes, you're signing the deals, your brand is getting bigger, you're being known, the visibility is converting for you. And so where is that line? Because, okay, I want to do this
That's
event.
A good question.
And I want people to know about it because I've invested XYZ in it, right? Or I want to do this wedding and I want people to know me through it, because a lot of times there's so much business happening around, and Nigerians, we love love, we love relationships. So it's now looking like, the way I see it, and I might be wrong, but it's now looking kind of like a marketing tool, because this is a platform where if you do it right, the Bella Nigers, there should be Bellas, could pick up your content, and from them people now follow you, which could convert to something else.
So it's a great strategy.
Example, you mentioned Moses Bliss, and I was one of the people who saw when her followers was like 3,000 followers, and I don't even know what it is today. I think it's
millions
and hundreds. I'm not sure there.
I don't know.
But last night I said it was like almost 200,000.
Do you see what I'm saying?
So like now here becomes the question. So where's the line?
So the line is probably slightly blurred. And honestly, you did remind everybody, and I'm going to confidently with my full chest as a Naija babe say it, I am an international luxurious wedding and event planning company. And I don't want to do broke weddings either, because I also want to get paid. And, and I do luxury weddings because, I do all types of weddings, events, social events, corporate events, all of it. But I love the good weddings, the great weddings. And I'm one of those ones that also, ask for the nice, luxurious photographer, videographers, the hairstylists and makeup artists, nice dresses, blind your enemy eyes dresses. But, I always say the state of the heart matters a lot. So, yes, we can want great things. We can want wonderful and beautiful things. Some of my clients don't want it to go famous. They're not really doing it for the fame. They want it because this is the kind of life that they're projecting. And I'll get back to the, marketing strategy as well. But it is a great thing. And if you're genuinely in love and you have the right foundation and, it's publicized, and Bella Naijas or Ashrebi Bella or, Nigerian weddings and all of that, Yoruba weddings, all of them capture it. Even sometimes even in the state, Parfait, so many blogs, Black Bride, all of that, right? Be Collective. I'm mentioning all these names because those are like the ones that we see that continuously repost. It doesn't necessarily mean that you did all of that to be showy. It came up, you're not mad, you're already on social media. Why not if not? And if you have the money and you're not killing people or your parents or, getting credit cards to pay for your wedding, but you just want and love luxurious things. And can afford it, please, by all means, go for it. And think about FTK Konnect. Hire me. Those are I love these clients, okay? I'm here for that life.
Yeah.
I'm just not for the fakeness. Now, with the marketing strategy, let me tell you, again, if the foundation is right and you're building on a solid ground, let me tell you, go for it. If you're like the Moses Bliss, we're just going to use that as an example. Like, she had very little followers. She did a video. Her fiance found out. It became a blossoming, beautiful relationship. They're where we're here right now. Everyone's interested in their love and now following her. She has multitudes or thousands of followers for the right reason, though, because she wasn't looking for fame. And then they're Christians, they're grounded. You know what I mean? Like, for me, if marketing automatically comes to you, because of your beautiful, luxurious, amazing wedding or birthday or whatever you do, absolutely, by all means, capitalize on it. Make it, you're not, it came and then you found yourself in this and social media is paying.
Ooh.
I mean, there was a point in time for like a year and a half that they were encouraging reels and I got paid every week by Instagram. At first, I thought it was a fluke, but I absolutely enjoyed getting paid. And now that it's been gone for like 7 months, 8 months, or a year, I'm like, wait, bring it back. I love creating reels, So I'm saying, by all means, if there is some sort of marketing strategy that gets developed because you went, your wedding got viral, your birthday, or you were even intentional about going viral, which is also not a bad thing if the foundation is right. Please, by all means, do it. There's a wedding that's been trending for like a month now. I think she's smart. She knows what she's doing. And if it's not being overdone in a way that it's becoming, you're playing it for social media, by all means, go ahead. But if people can see through it and they know that this is just all fakeness, it also backfires. So you got to be smart about it. But the foundation of what you're doing has got to make sense too. So I guess the lines can be blurred a little.
So I like the fact that I actually feel like you've brought clarity to this, because one of the things that has been my, what I'm going to leave here with is, if the foundation is right. I was at my friend's wedding yesterday. He's the son of a king, so he's a prince. Nice. And his wife, he chased her for years. And I know, because I was at the beginning of the journey and she's like, Abeg, I don't like your character, this one, that one. She just, felt he was over the top. But he was genuinely in love with her and he just kept, pressing it. And he had such a beautiful wedding yesterday and she's not going to be a princess and all of that. But nobody would have thought that at the beginning she was the one like giving him a very hard time. And I see a lot of people who are making life, because I feel like marriage is it's supposed to be permanent, even though, of course, people are divorcing. And then if you make this decision based on, what he has now, he has 2 cars, he has a house and all of that, you'll be surprised that the person you left this person for is going to do X50 what you were trying to secure. So I think it just really goes back to that foundation, like you said. If the foundation is right, both of you can even, together say, let's do like this, let's do like that. Because you're friends, you have a common goal.
Exactly.
But it's not just like you're looking at the other person to exploit them based on your own selfish benefit. So
the social media Nigerian narrative now is like, get your money, get your money. And it's like, and women say it and it's super irritating. And honestly, it is very bothersome, because like, who are you? Be your individual. And that's how people don't find fulfillment. You need to know what your path is in life. You're not dependent on anyone. Not that you can be, if you have a sugar daddy who definitely does not have otherwise.
I don't support that, though, but okay.
I don't support it, but if you're the love of his life and he's the love of your life and he's a lot older but he's taking care of you and you're getting married and you're doing things, even if the foundation always has to be right? But even if things didn't start off right, and hey, I'm not judgmental of how you guys meet or whatever the case is. My own thing is sorted. If you want to be a housewife, be okay with that. But I've noticed that an idle mind, I mean, it's everywhere. An idle mind creates all this negativity, people not having jobs and living the life that they want in Nigeria is part reason why social media is a horrible, horrible mess in Nigeria as well. Because if you're working and you're, accomplished, or you're a student, or you have future ambition, and you know that this is my passion, this is how I'm supposed to live life, you're not going to be making stupid videos saying, get your money, let them buy you car, let them buy you
They're
this.
not buying you this. What are they doing for you? Throw it away.
And no grief for anybody in the negative way. Don't do that. Don't do that. Like, be your own self. Be your own individual. If God is what you need to be centered, find him. You know, do that first and then start finding your footing. I've seen people say, oh, I don't know. How am I supposed to know my passion? Take some moments with yourself and think about your own journey and your path and what you want to be and what do you enjoy right now, and start from there. I just feel like Nigerians these days, it's so funny because I've been here for a minute, and when I was growing up in Nigeria and Ibadan, you know, we were taught like morals and there was standard. And I love the story you just said about the prince chasing the girl for many, because that's what I was taught. Like, let them chase you. You know, these days the girls, I mean, hey, again, I'm not judgmental, but you know, girls are walking up to guys and, you know, it's just so one nice, you know, it's like, let us go back to the basic, but let's still be contemporary. Like, you could have the best of both worlds and not go crazy, like exploit the man. Or if it's the girl that is rich, exploit the sugar mama. Like, the whole sugar mommy and sugar daddy series, it's so inundating. It's so silly. It's so, let's just stop with the crap and be your own person.
Your own person. I think people who want to go down that route, I think it's because I like to say, I tell my friends, I'm like, I have high taste. Like,
yeah, you both, girl.
I find myself going into a store or even just going on Instagram, and I'm going through things, and by the time I finally find what I like, it's probably the most expensive thing there, and I'm not even I wasn't looking for the most expensive thing. It just happened, and honestly, it got to a point, and I'll be very real. It got to a point where I believe I started having a certain level of entitlement because I started feeling that, okay, just because, I mean, I have people coming up to me telling me, you're beautiful, I want to be with you, I want this, I want that, so this is what I deserve. So I deserve this kind of luxury and this kind of standard. So I had this very high standard, which I still do. The only thing that I had to unlearn was the entitlement, which is
the intention behind
the intention behind it, because you have to work for something.
Yes.
You know, I had to learn that, okay, even if you don't have this thing, even if you're not all made up and you're not wearing the most expensive, yes, you're still good.
Yeah.
And how do you carry yourself through those processes in such a way that, because what I now realized was I didn't have savings because I was just like
trying to get all the things that
I must wear. Yeah, like luxury things I deserve. Putting up this standard for myself, which was going to get insane. Because if I kept up that path, then I would literally be doing hand to mouth, but looking super gorgeous on Instagram. So I had to learn that exactly for who. And I feel like if you're listening and you're in your early 20s and you feel like, oh, this other person just got themselves a car, it's getting this, it's getting that, I love this, and then you're with this, you're in your early 20s, so you're with this dude who is also in his early 20s, probably just got his first or second job, and you want the latest iPhone for Valentine's. You know, the question I ask is, can you afford it?
Right.
If something happens to the phone, can you fix it? Can you even buy the screen for it? Or you want a car, can you maintain it? You know what I mean? So, like, I think those are the things that people don't talk about. So it's not even like, okay, you're not allowed to have these luxuries, or you want to live in this 4-bedroom in the Ikoyi. Can you pay the rent? If he tells you, I don't want to do again.
Or if he drops dead.
God forbid. What are you going to do?
Right.
Are you going to go back to your
square zero?
And at that point in time, you cannot. So then it now takes them to a path where you are now, okay, because if this happens, I need a backup plan. Before you know it, you had this married guy, you felt, oh, his wife wasn't treating him well, so that's why I'm with him. I understand him. I get him. And then, you know, maybe something happened to his money. Onto the next one. Before you know, you have 10 sugar daddies.
Hey!
And that's it.
Welcome to Lagos, Nigeria.
So I feel like one of the things I just had to share was the spirit of contentment. And yes, I just also wanted to share that, yes, it's good to have the high taste. But like,
definitely,
what I'm really taking out from this is the intention. Like
the foundation.
The foundation. Yeah.
Yeah, we have to. Let's go back to the, when Nigeria was great
Yeah.
with like parents and morals.
And it's okay if a person doesn't agree with your morals, let them go. Because if we look at the Moses Bliss again, we already know the type of lady she is. So if you're not showing all your body on Instagram, does not mean anything
cannot be found. Or
if you say I don't drink, I don't smoke, and a person is not respecting your boundaries, then that's a problem.
Whoa.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be cool, especially like. For instance, if I enter a house party and then they're like, let's play a game, and I just hear truth or dare, I'm confident enough to be like, okay, peace and love, y'all.
That's interesting. I heard the truth and dare thing Nigerian way. It's crazy.
Yeah, because I want to be among syndrome. So you don't even have a no, you don't have a yes. So if you were to, because this is us gleaning from your years and years of experience, if you're advising, because I feel like these are the people who need the advice, the impressionable early 20 people, not people like me. Not see one or two things, can't get small brain. Just small, not have a lot. But like, no, not yet. But then, so let's say late teenagers and early 20s who are just starting life, who are meeting people, who might also be reaching the right people, but they are not just where they want them to be. They want them to be more glamorous and all. So what would you say, as a big sister, what would you say to these sets of women or ladies?
I think we're going to go back to contentment again and how you were raised. Like, think about, I have a teenager. It's hard. The way that social media kind of helps in these days, I don't even know if help is the word, but kind of help, I guess help is going to keep coming up. Almost like help grow your children these days, or kind of make them even more, I guess maybe more impressionable. It's hard, but for me, I would always say that I grew up in the right era, okay? Where morals, for me, I can't deviate from my morals, even though I've lived in the United States for over 20-something years. I think 24, 25. And I always say it is important, like, to know whom and who you are, whom, meaning from God. And I don't even know if I can really, they're Gen Zs, right?
Yeah.
Are those Gen Zs? I mean, I feel young every single day. I feel like I'm a Gen Z. My daughter doesn't agree. But in talking to them as a big sis, what would I say? Just live your authentic life. You're not living life for anybody. Like, I think when we start to think, what would I do as me regularly, when we start to ask that question, which is good to kind of find the inner truth. But when we start to think in comparison to what I would do on social media, I think that's where we start to miss it. I think for sure, if we're our authentic, genuine person or people, we would lead and live a better life. So for me, be your genuine, authentic person. Whoever is supposed to be in your corner will be. Don't live in a way that's, okay, I'm doing this so that I can find this guy. Like, again, I'm going to go back to Moses Bliss. Like, this lady just did a video, not even knowing, and tagging Moses Bliss as regular. I mean, I saw the video. I went all the way down to her page, which was not that many. And she was just being a regular chick. And look at how God orchestrated it for her, bone of her bone, the flesh of her, to meet up with her. Just being herself, not packaging, with natural hair and everything. I love it for them. I love it for them. I didn't meet my husband that way, but I'm just saying, everybody has different ways that they meet, and being your true self. Don't, like, Lagos is full of packaging. Oh my God. That alone is another story. Maybe I'll come for another podcast. Just be yourself, and no matter where you are in life, because this is not, this is an international podcast, by the way. So it's going to be played anywhere that YouTube is allowed, which I think is worldwide. So even if you're in the United States or Europe or anywhere in the world that you find yourself, it goes for everyone. Be your authentic self.
And everything will align.
Everything else will align. Always think intentions. Always think, what am I portraying? What am I trying to do here? Like if you're having to package yourself for social media and that's not the real you, you're gonna burn out. You're gonna feel unfulfilled.
So package the real you.
Yes. And one thing I do want to highlight is it's great to know your self-worth. It's great to know what you deserve.
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessarily a negative thing, but I love the self-reflection of, am I deviating and am I asking for, there's never for anything called asking for too much, because my God owns this earth.
Maybe that's the person you should actually ask, or that's the being you should ask, God.
Yeah.
Maybe I think that makes sense to me. Because yes, you can ask, you can dream as big as you want. But what I meant
is, ain't even a limit.
When you are applying pressure to another person for things that with your own human strength,
you cannot do it. Can you calm down?
That's where the problem is
calm
for me.
Down.
So if you want all those things, go to God in prayer.
Yes.
Say, God,
yes,
I want this car.
Wait your turn. Be patient. In Nigeria, they say rest. Rest in Jesus' name.
Rest in Jesus. See, this is how we're going to end this episode. Rest in Jesus' name. May love find you.
Yes.
May it be worth it. May it be one that you can grow and have a beautiful journey with. Not the one that will end your life shortly. One that you experience the true meaning of a partner.
Yes.
The way God designed it. That is our prayer. That's my prayer for myself. That's the prayer continually in your journey. And for even you that is listening or watching out there, that we're able to love God's way, find our innate desires, live our dreams, watch them become realities, have beautiful kids, have a beautiful home. But remember, like she said, that's the foundation must be right. Make sure your foundation is right. And how is your foundation right? Having a relationship with God, having great mentors. By the way, I'd like you to be one of my mentors. Yes, please.
Oh my God.
Please.
I will be honored.
Yes, I would love that, honestly. And I'm not even saying because of the podcast, because I really just want to look up to people, because it's always very hard for someone like me who wants to bedazzle, look good, still have the family orientation, still work hard. How many people can you see ahead of you, balancing all these things and still looking like 22?
And as she's looking for a mentor, I have my own mentors as well. So there is no age to that, and wanting to, say, somebody is doing something right. I want to do it in that way.
Yeah.
I'm not be them, but do it in that way so that I can also lead the
learn from
path.
experience.
So I love it. I love it.
Oh, thank you so much for coming. Thanks for sharing.
Pleasure.
And I hope that you were able to learn, you were able to listen, you were able to be inspired, whatever it is that happened, because we were just actually chatting and having a great time.
Honestly.
And you were just listening. But thanks for watching. You know what to do. Share it to people. Like, comment, subscribe. Do the needful. And hopefully this gets to someone who really, really needs to hear this. So till next time. Mwah! My name is Amanda Dara. And I had the lovely Feyikemi today of
FTK
of FTK Konnect. All right. See you guys later. Bye-bye.